Hey y'all, welcome back to Doozy Talks with Susie, where we keep it real about fitness, nutrition, mindset, and how to live in sync with your body and your purpose. Today, I'm going to tell you why I stopped doing something I used to swear by, running at least 5 days a week. And no, this isn't a running is bad video. This is about how running too much hurt my results, my hormones, and even my mood until I learned the science behind it and shifted to something better. I used to run almost every day. I thought it was the key to fat loss. Now, mind you, back in the day, I was weighing 215 pounds. I wanted to lose some weight, and eventually my goal had become to lose 80 pounds and to get down to 135 pounds. And I thought the only way to do that was with cardio. And I would run. I'd run 6 miles 5 or 6 times a week. Sometimes I'd run 8 miles. Sometimes I'd run 10. It was just whatever I felt like that day, whatever I could do. And I thought that was all it was. I thought that's what I had to do to get the mental clarity. And for a while, it kind of worked. But eventually, I hit a wall. I wasn't sleeping well. I felt puffy even when I was lean. My muscles looked flat. I had intense food cravings, and my menstrual cycle was just all over the place. The harder I trained, the worse I felt. And that's when I knew something wasn't right. And here's the thing. During all of this, if I skipped a day, I would come down so hard on myself for not doing a run that day. And so it was this emotional roller coaster ride every day. But I started looking into my genetics, and then things started to make sense. So there's these genes that are called COMT and MAO-A, and I had mutations in both of those. And these affect how I clear my stress hormones. So that means cortisol stays elevated in my system longer. And running just kept dumping more stress into my body, which is why I run for a couple of days. I run several miles for a couple of days. I get that spike of happiness once I hit 2 or 3 miles. And so I'm feeling really good and I feel good. But then at the same time, once I finish, my body's worn out. The stress is more there. So then I end up on this cycle of, I'm going to go run again because I need to deal with my stress and I don't know how else to do it. And then the next ones are the MTHFR and MTRR genes, which I also had mutations in both of those. And they affect methylation, which means I already have a harder time recovering from inflammation and oxidative stress because my body isn't able to turn certain nutrients into the usable forms for my body to be able to keep itself uninflamed, keep the oxidative stress down. My body just kind of struggles with that. Then there's also the SLC25A13, which impacts the mitochondrial energy. So too much cardio made me feel wired, but it actually kind of wore me out too. My AMPD1 gene also has a variant, and it means my endurance adaptation is a little lower. So running never really built me up the way it builds other people. It was cool, but it wasn't something that my body was doing well with long term. And when you take and combine all of these mutations together, running just wasn't helping me anymore. It was actually draining me. And things we already have known about running is when you run, steady state run, keeping your heart rate up high, that ends up burning muscle for fuel instead of burning body fat for fuel. So that was also playing a role. And so I was walking around in this skinny fat zone because I didn't have muscle because I was burning all of the muscle off because I was running so much. So I thought I was just pushing through, being disciplined because I would go and do these runs 5, 6, 7 times a week. But here were the signs I was ignoring. My legs felt heavy during my workouts, true story. I needed coffee or an energy drink, anything with 300 milligrams of caffeine right before I go on my run and throughout the day just to function. My menstrual cycle was late and irregular. I was constantly hungry, but still gaining fat around my midsection. I was like, what is going on here? And if you go watch one of my other videos about why I changed up how I eat my carbs, go look at that one because that also explains why I'm bloated around my midsection and what I've been doing to help deal with that. The next thing is I feel tired and wired at night. My recovery was awful. I was still sore days after. You got to keep going. It gets to being mind over matter. Just push yourself. And I was pushing myself, but I was out of energy. But they're all signs that your nervous system is tapped out and your hormones are not thriving. So if you want good hormone health, pay attention to what your body is telling you. Your body's trying to keep you healthy and alive. Honestly, quitting running was really hard for me. Not physically, but it was mental because I would judge myself for it. I thought I was being lazy. I told myself just push through. Like I said earlier, I thought it was just mind over matter. You're just not trying hard enough. It's all about your mindset. Just keep going. Your body can do more. You're only at all those motivation speeches. You're only at 70% when you feel like you're maxing out. Just keep going. You can do more. And there's some wisdom to that. But I think I was overdoing it a little bit. And I realized my body wasn't actually being weak. It was communicating with me. And I just didn't know how to listen yet. I was still learning. Once I understood my genes, it finally made sense. I'm not lazy. I'm just wired differently. My body thrives with interval runs once or twice a week and zone 2 heart rate walking, or I'll mainly do incline walks at a fast pace that keeps my heart rate inside of zone 2. And what happens is, over time, I've been increasing the incline, increasing the speed as I go because my heart rate zone, because I'm keeping it going, my heart rate just keeps dropping. So I'm able to work a little bit harder, and there's been a lot of improvement over the past few weeks, which is amazing. So anyways, now I train in a way that actually supports my health, and it's not just punishing my body, which is literally like what I was doing. Here's my new rhythm. All right, kind of give you guys a little sneak peek at what I do. I walk every morning, zone 2 cardio, low impact, stress reducing, except 2 days out of the week when I find a day where my body is feeling full of energy and ready to go. And on that day, I'll do about half an hour to 45 minutes of the interval running. If I feel like doing longer, okay, cool, but that's my goal. And if I can increase the amount of the interval, maybe I can increase my speed and just help building up the strength of my heart, I think is really important. Then I go and I lift weights in the afternoon, building muscle, supporting bone density, increasing insulin sensitivity. Then I'll stretch or do some yoga in the evening. And I'll also throw in like a 15-minute walk, something to just help use up the last little bit of my energy so I can get a good sleep at night. And this combo helps support my hormones, muscle growth, mental clarity, and a nervous system regulation without burning me out. I started this about 3 weeks ago, and this is the best I have felt in a while. So why does this work? COMT and MAO-A do better with steady grounding movement. So my lower endurance response means I get less benefit from the long, crazy cardios. My detox and recovery pathways need time and lower inflammation. Mitochondrial stress is minimized with the zone 2 plus resistance training. So this is why someone else might thrive on running, because there are people, I'm part of all of these running groups on Facebook and social media, and there's these people, they're running 20 miles every week at one time. They'll just be like, oh, I just finished a 20-mile run, just did a 10-mile. And I'm like, how did you do that? I'm good to make it about 6 miles is my max, honestly. 3 miles, I'm doing pretty good. I feel pretty good about myself. If I can make a 10K, I did it. I feel really good about myself. But these people who can do 10 miles, 20 miles, how? I don't get it. They're built different, and it's amazing. Everybody's different. My body I had to walk away from it, literally, to get stronger, to get leaner, and feel better. So here's the thing I want you to ask yourself. Do you feel better after cardio, or do you feel a little more drained? Do you sleep deeply, or do you wake up wired? That's a big one. Are you building muscle or just losing energy? Because if you're just losing energy, that's not your body thriving. Do you feel inflamed, bloated, or constantly sore? If so, it might not be about doing more. It might be about just doing it differently. And trust me, I've done all of these crazy cycles. I put on weight, I lose weight. I'm trying to figure out what works and why running 5 days a week wasn't causing me to lose weight like I wanted to. I didn't quit running because I was lazy or didn't want to work hard. I quit because my body needed something different. And since making the switch, my energy is steadier, my sleep is deeper, my mood is calmer, my body composition improved, my mind feels clear. Movement is a gift, but it's only powerful in the right kind of movement for your body. If you're doing what everybody else is telling you to do, but your body doesn't fit to that rhythm, you're not benefiting yourself. So if this hit home for you, drop a comment, let me know what kind of movement makes you feel your best. And if you haven't already, check out my last video on the carb timing and how it transformed my metabolism. Till next time, remember, you are fashioned by grace and set apart for a reason. Keep moving with purpose, and I'll see you soon.